From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy. American industry is demanding action from the Joe Biden administration after Parliament approved Canada's plan last month to tax foreign digital services companies. The Office of the United States Trade Representative says that they're looking into all tools to respond to Ottawa, who said it's been clear that it would go ahead with the levy if global frameworks that have been in the works for a few years didn't move forward. The Business Council of Canada's John Dickerman says the timing is problematic because the review of the Canada-United States-Mexico Trade Pact is coming up in 2026.
Putting yourself in a position where I think, you're kicking at a hornet's nest in the United States when it comes to this bilateral relationship is one that feels particularly challenging to me.
Canada's plan will add a 3% levy on foreign tech giants which generate revenue from Canadian users. Calgary Mayor Jody Gontick has lifted restrictions on indoor water use. The city and surrounding municipalities were under water restrictions since a water main that supplied 60% of drinking water to the area ruptured on June 5th. Gontick says an outdoor water ban will still be in effect.
We need to ease back into regular use. So while we probably will see an increase in water usage, I'm very hopeful that people understand that staggering their laundry is still something that would be very beneficial.
The state of local emergency related to the water crisis is set to expire on Thursday. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will be in Washington, D.C. next week to join other NATO leaders at a summit. The 32 NATO allies will gather to mark the alliance's 75th anniversary in the city where the treaty was originally signed, discussing topics such as the war in Ukraine and the defense contributions of NATO members. WestJet passengers faced more flight disruptions today despite a deal reached over the weekend to end the strike by its mechanics, as the airline says a full resumption of operations will take time.
WestJet has canceled more than 1,000 flights since Thursday and says there are more cancellations to come in the days ahead. About 680 unionized aircraft mechanics had walked off the job Friday evening, despite a directive for binding arbitration from Federal Labor Minister Seamus O'Regan. The tentative agreement was announced late Sunday night, but the strike had already disrupted the travel plans of tens of thousands of travelers over the Canada Day long weekend. Michelle Zedikian, The Canadian Press.
Everything you post online is being used to train the next generation of artificial intelligence, and some people say they aren't okay with that. Some users have gone as far as deleting their old posts or editing them into gibberish as a form of protest, but it hasn't had much effect. Platforms are responding with mixed results, some banning all ChatGPT written responses due to frequent errors or mistruths, and others now partnering with AI chatbot developers and punishing some users who tried to protest by erasing their past contributions. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, defenseman Victor Hedman signed a 4-year, $32 million extension with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The four-time All-Star had 76 points last season, which was fifth among defensemen. The move comes less than 24 hours after former team captain Steven Stamkos left the Lightning for Nashville in free agency. The Toronto Blue Jays host the red-hot Houston Astros at the Rogers Center tonight. The Astros kicked off a 4-game series with a 3-1 win last night. It was Houston's 10th win in its last 11th games. The Blue Jays placed infielder Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on the 10-day injured list with a left knee sprain before the game. Canadian Leylah Fernandez is through to the second round at Wimbledon. Fernandez posted a 6-4, 6-3 win over Lucia Bronzetti at the All England Club to set up a match with former world number 1 Caroline Wozniacki. Fernandez, a 21-year-old from Laval, Quebec, is 7-2 on the grass this season. From the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.